in California, throughout the northern. Hold on a minute, folks. All right, I'm back. So sorry about that. Background noise alert, folks. In the northern half of coastal California, temperatures are in the 50s, southern half 60s, 70 in Indio. All across the Central Valley, California, they range from the upper 40s to mid 50s. In Oregon, temperatures range from the upper 30s to mid 50s. Washington State, we got 32 in Trail to 46 in Yakima, 43 in Spokane, 41 in Wenatchee, and 53 in Seattle. Okay. So sorry about that, folks. Okay, so where the gusts, somewhat good amount of gusts, up to 30 miles an hour in parts of upstate New York, as well as offshore from Long Island and the Jersey Shore, east end of Long Island. Plenty of gusts offshore from the Big Bend area, up to 40 miles an hour, up to 30 offshore from Daytona Beach. Up to 40 miles an hour in gusts throughout eastern Texas to Oklahoma, up to 30. And, well, there's plenty of gusts in Lake Huron, but just over the Great Lakes, though. Parts of the Rockies, some places do have gusts. They're blowing around between 30 to 50 miles an hour, maybe close to 60, especially near Browning, Montana. And as well as for folks in the Cascades and the Columbia River Valley. Hold on a minute. Hey, Wild, welcome. Hope you're having a good Sunday today. Hope your weather was pretty good today. For me, it was alright. Nothing special, but nothing too bad. Looks like as though that you have 1 degree, which means that your temperature's like just below at negative 15 degrees Celsius, just near negative 20 Celsius. Winds coming from the west northwest, blowing around up to about 10 miles an hour to 15. But you don't have a lot of humidity. But folks in the Gulf Coast, lower Mississippi, northern Florida, they have a ton load of humidity, dry air along the U.S.-Mexico border and parts of the desert southwest. But there's a lot of humidity in the Pacific Northwest on the coastal side, and as well as for folks in the Bitterroot Mountains of Idaho. Trace a good amount of humidity in the Ohio Valley, all the way up to the Adirondacks in northern New England. Oh yeah, and also, let's take a look at rainfall accumulation in the next 24 hours, though. None for you, Wild. No rain for you in the next 24 hours. It was a decent Sunday, but did get negative 20 degrees Celsius or negative 4 Fahrenheit this morning. At least I wasn't out in it this time. Oh! Sorry about that. Yeah, it's a good thing you didn't go out. Alright. So, for folks in the mid Atlantic, they could receive just about as up to an inch of rain. As well as for folks in the lower Mississippi, Florida, getting somewhere between an inch or two, maybe close to 3 in some places, particularly places like between Cape Coral to Jacksonville, Florida. in the in the northern plains, I should say, up to a quarter inch of rain in some places, up to a full inch of rain in some places in the northern Rockies. Hold on a minute. All right, I'm back. In the Pacific Northwest, they could receive just about as much as up to about 3 to 6 inches of rain, especially in Olympic National Park and just right between Seattle and the higher peaks of the Cascades. What about snow? About as much as up to 6 inches of snow in Maine, up to 3 in Vermont and New Hampshire, up to a full inch or 2 near Utica. In the mid-Atlantic, they'll receive just about as much as up to 6 inches of snow, maybe a little bit near a foot in Western Virginia, all the way down to Bristol. No, actually not Bristol. Yeah, maybe Bristol, but just the east of Bristol, though. Maybe close to a foot. None for you, Wild. But between 36 inches of snow in the eastern Dakotas and western Minnesota. Parts of the Rockies might receive a variable amounts of snow from traceable amounts to up to about a foot of snow there in the Bitterroot Mountains. Washington State's Cascades will receive just about as much as up to maybe 2 feet of snow high up in the mountains. Oh, and also before the disclaimer, I'm gonna check the air quality index because of a special weather statement in the Los Angeles area, which does indicate unhealthy air in the area. The winds are very stagnant in the Los Angeles basin, which means that if anyone burns stuff up, then like all those pollutants are going to spread throughout the city, which means that anyone with underlying health conditions like respiratory illnesses or whatever, yeah, those people are in trouble. Though I do have to be out in the morning tomorrow. Yeah, that's the most awful part, Wild. And, of course, given that it's Monday, well, even for me, I gotta get used to that. Always have to be used to all this madness. Okay, and just one more thing, let me see, in terms of any pollutants, well, plenty of NO2s. I don't know about SO2s. Carbon monoxide, plenty of which are in the Los Angeles area. Let's go back to wind. Yep, definitely no wind is there. Yeah, it looks like it does stand up to 20 miles an hour in the west northwest Wild. Yeah, that too. Yeah, lol. Okay, so now let's go to the upper part of the atmosphere. Oh yeah, disclaimer. All of what I said is just estimates. They can change at any time, so consult with your local officials or your local weather office, just so that you guys will get real-time weather reports, such as rainfall accumulation, snowfall accumulation, as well as wind gusts, wind direction, and wind speed. Let's take a look at the upper part of the atmosphere. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, so we do have a trough just located near Hudson Bay to the east. And we do have a trough just located, well, a vague-looking trough just located over northern Missouri. And a ridge just over southern California. And a flat-looking ridge just thousands of miles to the east of Florida and the Bahamas. Another trough just over North Dakota. Now, what does this mean? It means currently we do have plenty of wet weather in northern New England, and as well as in the southeast. Plenty of thunderstorms too, actually. And plenty of wet weather in the northwestern part of the United States. Well, you're good, Wild. You're good for today. Tomorrow night, let's take a look. We do have a trough that's going to be over northwestern Minnesota. A ridge over coastal central California. A trough just over West Virginia. And another folding trough just located over the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma. Which means that there will be some wintry weather in the upper Mississippi Valley, plus possibly your area, Wild. And as well as wintry weather moving into the mid-Atlantic states, but just south of the New York City area. And more wet weather to come in parts of Florida and parts of Texas and the Pacific Northwest too. Hold on a minute. I need to turn on the heater. Because it's getting chilly. Okay. This is for Tuesday night. There's going to be a small trough just to the east of Lake Huron. A ridge over Southern California. There's going to be a trough just over right between the northeastern corner of North Dakota and northwestern corner of Minnesota. It means that there's going to be some form of wintry weather in the upper Mississippi Valley, but hardly for you, Wild. Maybe some flurries could be there. And there could be some flurries in some parts of New England. And wet weather is still a factor in parts of the southeast. That includes Florida and parts of the parts of the southeast. And still more wet weather to come in the Pacific Northwest. Finally, by Wednesday night, we do have an upper level low over the southern tip of the Hudson Bay area. And we do have a trough just over Lake Erie. A ridge over California. What does this mean? It means there's going to be plenty of action in terms of some strong severe weather, or even some wintry weather as well for folks along the East Coast, all the way towards New Orleans. And the Pacific Northwest may still get some wet weather though. I'm actually going to skip the forecasting snowy events until tomorrow. I've already covered that. I won't do that as a usual thing, and also because I'm out of time. I gotta play Minecraft. Plenty of extreme drought in the southern tip of Maine and parts of the Ohio Valley. Plenty of extreme to exceptional drought in parts of the Panhandle of Florida, southern Georgia, southern Texas, parts of the desert Southwest, all the way up to Montana, Idaho, and Walla Walla in Washington State. But definitely less drought in California, Kentucky, North Dakota, Rhode Island, Connecticut. Alright. Now let's see what we got. Maybe some drought for you, Wild. But it's not a prediction. It's just something that has been going on for quite some time, though. Let's go here and let's talk about temperatures for tomorrow morning. Well, it looks like as though your temperature reading will be close to negative 20 degrees Celsius for folks in the U.S. Plenty of freezing temperatures all across places like the Northeast, the Ohio Valley, all the way to the Great Plains and the Rockies. But in the Great Lakes region, plenty of sub-zero temperatures in terms of, you know, degrees Fahrenheit.